Hey everyone, how's everyone doing today? My name is Gina and I am doing great. Alright, so who's ready to experiment today? I am. I want to try something. Okay, so let me explain how this all came about. So I was looking on Pinterest because I was having creative block this week about what am I going to do for my video this week. And so I went to Pinterest and kind of just typed in fall crafts or fall decorations or something along those lines. And then what came up was 100 fall DIYs. And I was like, there we go. That's right up my alley. Let me check it out. So I scrolled through and there were a couple that were really cute. And I was like, oh, but this one grabs my fancy. What they had done is they took these glass stones, and I got these from just the Dollar Tree. So I knew this was going to be more of the where everybody could do it. You just go to the Dollar Tree and grab you some stones. I have two sizes. One are big and one's the medium size, right? And I actually have some small ones, but they're green, so they're not quite going to work with what I want to do. But I know they have the clear little ones, so you could do that. But what they had done is they made little pumpkin magnets out of theirs. And they just, what they did is they decoupaged just paper and create like little pumpkin faces and used a magnet, you know, on the back, and voila, they were done. So that's what they did. So it got me to thinking, and I remembered that I have this jewelry, right? This is from Craft Fantastic. I got this last year when I went to the expo and did the class, and I've done a video on these, but I really love doing these little jewelry, right? It's really cute and a nice little, it takes like 5 minutes of your time, and it'd be a cute little gift if you need to give a gift, right? So I still have some of these pictures if I need to get into it and use it, right? But that's not what I want to do. So I kind of knew that there was, you know, the decoupage idea and all that. What I want to try to do, you know me, I got to be different. I want to try to paint on the back of these. And I want to try to use different mediums. I want to see what mediums are going to work and what mediums will not work. Hence me saying this is going to be an experimentation. And then of course I will probably do some decoupaging because that, you know, that's a no-brainer. That's going to work. We know that's going to work. It works with the jewelry. It worked on what I saw on Pinterest and all that. What I want to use, the medium I want to use some acrylic paint, but I also want to try to use my alcohol markers. So let's get to getting. So the first thing that I did was that I went ahead and put sealer onto the gem, hoping that the acrylic paint would stick on it. So I put the sealer on, and of course I'm going to have to let it dry before I can try the acrylic paint. So then I moved on to trying alcohol-based markers. I just wanted to see if you would see the magnet through the glass, and of course you would. So I was hoping that the acrylic paint would hide it, but we'll see if that works or not. So I went ahead and started using the alcohol markers. I'm using my Ohuhu markers here. And I'm just using reds, browns, greens, yellows, and oranges. And I'm just putting the color on. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just letting it organically land onto the gem because I want all the colors to kind of mingle together. And once I get all my colors on there, I will take my alcohol spray and just spritz it one time. That's all I did, just one little psst, and I need to let that dry. So now everything is dried, and what I want to do is you have two hole punches. One's I think a 1 inch, and one's a 1.5. So I used the 1 inch on the medium size one, and I used the 1.5 one on the bigger gems. So I have this little stencil here by Plum Purdy, and I just went ahead and took the same color markers that I had used on the gem, and I just traced around and colored in the leaf to, you know, make it look pretty. And I will end up spritzing this with alcohol ink. And it will make the alcohol, of course, it will make the ink kind of spread, which is what happens when you put alcohol on alcohol ink. So there it is, finished. And so I went around it with my Pilot drawing pen just because it needed more definition because of the way the ink spread. And I will end up taking some clear stickles and putting that on to the paper. And then I will put it onto the gem. And I loved this before I did the leaf. I should not have done that leaf. The leaf, because of it running and everything like that, spreading out, it just ruined this one. But we have to try, right? That was the whole point of this video today, is just to experiment and try different things, different mediums that I have, right? So now the acrylic one, the sealer is dried. So now I'm going to go with the stencil again, and I'm using my acrylic paints, my Deco Art acrylic paints, Tuscan Red, Marigold, Burnt Sienna, and Cannon Orange. So I will do that like 2 times, I think, for it to be more opaque. I was hoping that it would be really opaque. And there it ran a little bit through the stencil, so I just took a little Q-tip and cleaned it up. So now I'm going to go use Pitt pens, which if you don't know what they are, they have Indian ink in them, right? So I'm going to use the same technique that I used with the alcohol markers. I'm just going to take these and just spread the ink all over the markers. I'm not thinking about it. I'm just spreading them on. That's supposed to be Indian red, and it looks more brownish. So I just ended up getting like this pink carmine, I think is the name of that one. And we needed some orange. And then I'm spritzing it one time with water, because Indian inks, you can use water with them. And here is my second round with the acrylic paint to try to get it more opaque than what it was. So of course I got to let that dry, and I'm letting the Indian ink dry, and the Pitt markers take quite a while to dry, and I actually ended up using my heat gun on it in order for them to dry. Now I'm going around the acrylic ink here just to make it have more of so you could tell it's a leaf, and then I'm using this Nouveau Mousse on it. Mistake. Here was mistake number 1 in my experimentation. Dum, dum, dum. So I dipped the Q-tip in water and took it off of the leaf part, which would have been okay, but I went a little bit over the leaf. Then I tried to put some more back on, and it was just messy. It just was not working. So then I took a baby wipe, and I tried to just wipe the mousse off. And look what happened. It erased everything. Everything. The sealer, the acrylic paint, everything gone. Bye-bye. So guess what I had to do? Yep, you got it. I had to start all over again. So I'm just letting you know I did do that, and I went 3 rounds. Now this is the Pitt marker, and like I said, I used a heat gun to end up drying it because it was, it would take forever. So here I'm using these copper flakes, and I forgot how you use them because I don't use this stuff all the time. And I tried to use, what is this, fluid matte medium. And, of course, that's not going to work. That's not what you use. You use tape. Double-sided tape is what you use. So I remember that that's what you're supposed to do. So I cut out another circle. And then look what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to use my stupid ATG to go onto the glass there, and guess what? Some of it came off. So then I had to start all over again with that. Well, not start all over, but I just redid it, which in the end made it look okay. So and I spritzed it again, and then again I had to let it dry, but I used the heat gun, like I said, to dry it. So then I remembered what I needed to do, and I ended up taking just a sheet of double-sided tape, and cutting the circle out with that, and use that to get that flake on there. And y'all, this is my favorite one. It ends up looking, to me, the prettiest. I love it so much. I think if I make another one, I will use alcohol markers instead of the pit markers and use the foil here, or the flakes, whatever you want to call this stuff right here, because it ends up being stunning in the end. So I use matte medium, fluid matte medium. That's what I'm using to put everything, all the papers on, is fluid matte medium. And I make sure I go around the edges so that it's all sealed onto there, right? So that's done. Looks pretty, looks nice. I'm telling you, in person, it is gorgeous, gorgeous. So now I'm back with my with the acrylic, and that's the first go round. So I'm taking now the little pictures that were from Craft Fantastic, and I'm going to use that one right there. Isn't it cute? So I'm going to end up fussy cutting that out because it's too big for the 1 inch and it's too little for the 1.5. So I end up fussy cutting it out. No biggie. So this is what you totally can do if you have pattern paper, a sticker, whatever. Just cut it out, put it on, use matte medium, fluid matte medium, or you could use Mod Podge. Mod Podge is at the dollar store too. But I wanted to use stickles, and so I put the stickles on, black stickles first, and then I wasn't quite sure if it was going to work, and I was like, well, that's the whole point. We're just experimenting. We're seeing what works and what doesn't. It didn't work because it was okay, but it covered the cat up a little bit too much. I mean, I even went on to be like, and I was like, nope, it covers up the cat too much. So I just took a baby wipe. I mean, it was right then, and just put it off. Use the matte medium, put the picture on, and then I will go back around the edge with stickles because it wasn't quite as big as the gem. So I needed to go around the edge. Now here I'm just getting the acrylic leaf ready. That's the backing for it. So I had to get it ready to let it dry. So now I'm using Yupo paper. Y'all, I'm telling you, I went experimentation Frankenstein today. I used alcohol inks. My alcohol inks, I hadn't used these in forever. I hadn't used Yupo paper in forever. And at first I was like, I don't even know if I remember how to do this. And then once I started, I was like, oh, now I remember and how much I love this. So you drop, and I sprayed with my alcohol, then drop some more. I mean, you could do this all day. This was so therapeutic. I love doing the Yupo paper. I forgot how much I love doing it. So then I will even go and get alcohol in a dropper and start dropping some alcohol on it as well till it got to look the way that I wanted it to look. And there I'm using that. And you just let it dry, and it just turned out really, really cool. I'll hit it again with some more ink, and look at that. I was like, oh my gosh, that looks like veins from a leaf, So I should have probably left that alone and not spritz it again with alcohol, but I couldn't help it. It's like addicting. You just want to keep going. So it dries fairly quickly. So now, but we're back with the acrylic paint. I'm sorry it goes back and forth, but you got to let stuff dry. And so that's the Nouveau Mousse that I used on the background there. And I went around it with my pen just to make it look like a leaf, that you could tell it was a leaf. And I used my matte medium, and then the lining, it started spreading from the pen. So I was like, that would have looked really cute if the pen had not started spreading, but it did. So here is where I'm using the stickles to go around the edge, just so that it, is more solid, I guess, because you could see through it, because the paper was not as big as the gem itself. So there was my first alcohol marker with that leaf, and I ruined it. I'm telling you, I ruined it with doing that leaf. Shouldn't have done it. There is the flakes, the copper flakes. Oh, it's my favorite. I'm telling you, my favorite. Oy, I just love it. And then there's the acrylic, not my favorite. So now the Yupo paper is ready to go. So I'm going to just, again, use my punches there and punch out. Now that was pearlescent paper that you also could use. I mean, you could just, there's so much you could do with this and use. So I've got the one part that I like the best, cut it out, and then again I'm using stickles on it. And that's pretty much all I'm doing with that one. It's just putting stickles on it. Now because it's Yupo paper, it was a little difficult for the matte medium to like stay on it and for it to dry. It took a really long time. So then I got the idea of, let's use jelly plates. Yeah, buddy. So, and again, I haven't done this in forever, and I forgot how you jelly plate. Look at that, y'all. I just let that mix, and then I go back again and mix. Y'all, I was just out of it on this first go round. Thought about using the stencil and then decided not to, and then I have some little crazy thing. But that's a pretty red. I mean, but that wasn't the color that I was going for. So I remember after I start to do my second one on how you do the gel plates. And I'm just using the same colors that I have been using, and I'm using a wax paper to actually put the excess paint on. I always like the look of wax paper from the jelly plates. And then I'm using a stamp. I tried to do an impression, and it didn't quite come out. I don't know if I didn't stamp it hard enough. I mean, you can see it, but it's very faint on the paper. And so, of course, here's the ghost print of that. And that looks very Christmassy to me. You know, it had a lot of green and red. If I were to do it again, I probably would put more brown in it than the green. I probably would just do one little of green in it because I feel like I put too much green. But I was hoping the green and the red would mix together to give me a brown. So, but that didn't happen. So here, I put some salt. I wanted to try it. I was a little bit afraid, I'm not going to lie, because I thought it might hurt my gel plate, but look at that. Oh, it turned out so cool. Now watch this. Oh, that was my favorite. My favorite. Though definitely was my favorite. So it didn't hurt my jelly plate, which I was so thankful, but I was willing to do it again, experiment day today. And so then I decided I wanted to make one more. I mean, I could have gone all day. And but I have this burlap that I wanted to use because I wanted to get more of a fall look in it. And you can see the salt is still there, which is fine. It gave it a beautiful texture on the paper. So I really liked doing the salt. I think I will do that again. So I just take the burlap in to create the burlap pattern. And I really do like the way that it came out. So that's really nice, really fallish. So glad I did it. See, look at that. But again, a little bit too much of red and green in it. So, you know. So I chose the burlap and the ghost printing of the salt. That's what I chose to use to create the backgrounds for the rest of my magnets that I'm going to make. And I just punch out... I think I punch out 2 small and 2 of the large, just to kind of even up. And of course you have to find the best spot to punch out things. So sometimes you have to cut around in order to get it. And so that is exactly what I'm doing there. Again, a little Christmassy color. So that one was way too green. I was like, nope, that's not the colors I'm going for. So... And what I will do with these is I'll just put stickles on them. I will use rose gold stickle, and I will use mercury glass on them. I was hoping it would give it a little bit more color, fall colors, but it really, I mean, it looked okay, but in the end, I really preferred just the clear stickles. I thought that the clear stickles, the colors just popped better with it for some reason. I don't know why, but the rest of the time I just stick with the clear stickles. In here I decided on one of the small ones that I would use the leaf stencil again, but use my white gel pen. And then I will also go in with my black
drawing pen to just kind of make it sketchy. And I will put, again, clear stickles on it. And then look at what happens. It smudges. So I thought, well, I can just wipe it, and that just didn't work. So gel pen will not work as well. I don't know, maybe I didn't give it enough time to dry, and that could totally be it. So maybe next time I might need to hit it with the hairdryer or heat gun to dry it. But then I was just like, I'm not going to put a leaf on it, forget it. And I just made it just the stickles on top of that. So I end up having those 4. And then when I look at this one, I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks like a forest in the background. So then it gave me the idea to do a scene. I was almost done. I was like, I think that's enough. And then when I saw that, I was like, oh, no. I got to create this. So I used my Posca pen, my black Posca pen, to kind of make it like a silhouette, and just used, and made a few trees so it looks like they're in the foreground, while the paint makes it look like it's in the background, right? So I think this one is one of my favorites. I really like it. I think it came out really, really, really nice. And I did dry it so that it wouldn't smudge, and then use the clear stickles on it. And look at it. Oh, it's so pretty. I really do like this one. This is one of my favorite. So once everything is dried, especially the bigger ones, I have to trim them, because the paper was a little bit too big. But it's no big deal, and it was fine. And here I'm talking about how much I love the alcohol ink look, that I wish I wouldn't have flubbed that one up by putting that leaf on it. So I decide I'm going to do it again. So that's exactly what I did. Use the same colors, same technique, and just will put clear stickles onto the white background and glue it up. But while I'm waiting for that to dry, I decided I'm going to make another, and I'm going to put a little mum on it, right? Because mums, you think of mums for fall flowers. So I just make loop-de-loops, as you can see, just around and around and around and around. And then I'm going to get my purple stickles and use it to go around the lines, kind of, just because I wanted it to be purple mum, right, with the fall colors in the background. And I will use the hairdryer to try to dry that a little bit, but it will not dry completely, which is fine. Then I decide I'm going to draw a little pumpkin. We need a little pumpkin, right? What's fall without a little bit of pumpkins? So I drew a little pumpkin, and then I'm going to use Nuvo, I don't think it's the crystal drops. I can't remember exactly which one it is, the name of it, but it's more metallic looking. And I thought that one turned out really, really pretty. I really like that one. And I'll just use, I actually will not put stickles on that, believe it or not. And I'll just use the medium on that, the matte medium, to put it onto the glass. Y'all, this was so much fun today. I really, really had a blast. Now, again, the flower is not dried, but I knew it, but I wanted to go ahead and put the glass on it. And because I figured it was mainly dried, and I was like, well, whatever is not dried, I can just wipe off the glass, which is what happened. Because if I would have done it before it had been a little dried, it would have been too much.
So let's see what we've got. This is the Yupo paper, and it's still a little wet on the inside, but that's to be expected. It's going to take a while. I really love that one. Here's the pumpkin with a little bit of the other Nuvo on there. I think that turned out cute. Here's the alcohol. And if you do get matte medium on the top, you can just take a wipe and wipe that off. But that's the alcohol with just the glitter in that. I think that turned out really pretty. And again, this is all of the rest of these is the jelly plated with different stickles on it. These two have the clear stickles on there. These two have the rose gold. This is the, this is the rose gold. This is the gold, mercury gold. So that's those. They turn out really pretty. This one I'm really digging now that the matte medium is drying even more. You can see that gold flake come through. So far, I think this one is my favorite, and this is the one I did with the pit pen on the glass, and then put that rose gold on the paper. The foil, the copper foil leaf, or whatever. What is that called? Yeah, the leaf. Flakes. That's what it's called. And I think this one is almost one of my favorites for sure. And then the kitty cat. Whoa, sorry, that was loud. With the stickles on the back, so that we can really see it. I think that turned out cute. I love it. I think that one turned out cute. And then, oh, I already put a magnet on this one because I really liked it too. Just get this. Careful not to take it all the way, off the sides, or your seal's gonna, once it dries, it will, once it cures. Look at that one. Isn't he cute? I love it. So I really like them all. I already put I love that one. That one is one of my, it's just hard to find a favorite. But they're so easy, fun to do, now that we've experimented and we know what works, what doesn't work. That one would have been really pretty if I hadn't have put the leaf on there. That's the only reason why I really don't like that one, is the leaf looks a little messy, and Same thing with this one. It's not my favorite, but if you want just simplistic, we just use that Nouveau, the mousse, and then I use the stencil, but the line, when I put the matte medium on there, it made it run, which I was not expecting that. So, and then here's the mom one. Got kind of messy there. But I think it turned out cute too. Like I said, it's hard to tell with the glare. Hopefully when I take pictures, it won't be so bad. So there you go. There is our little crafting project for today. I really enjoyed experimenting. So let me do the experimenting for you so you don't have to. So we've learned what works, what doesn't work, right? So, like we found the gel pen didn't work with this one, so it's just a lot of trial and error, which is what crafting is all about, creating is all about, right? Alright, but I will have to say, I think this one would have been my favorite if I hadn't have messed up the leaf. Because I do like the look of the alcohol, but this one didn't have enough color over here. So, but I do like the look of the alcohol ink, or just the markers. Just so if you even have Sharpie markers. The markers I used were Ohuhu markers. But you could use Sharpie, whatever alcohol-based markers you have, you can use to do that. And then the Pitt pen, I really like it too because I really love that gold foil. I think the gold foil is my favorite. And I think once this dries even more, you're gonna really be able to see that gold, the gold flake in it even more, or the copper flake rather. When you move it around, see it? Oh, I love it. And I do like that, to put a little scene You just draw you a little scene on. Same thing, pumpkins, flowers. The the Yupo paper, it's okay. It's just not as nice as using just the alcohol markers on the glass itself. And this is taking forever to dry. I mean, you can see if I push on it, it's still wet. So I don't know how long that's going to take to dry. And then just the papers to the gel plate, those turn out okay. Not as nice as this, in my opinion. It's just more vibrant, I feel. But I mean, they're nice. They're okay. And again, I used that to color on the paper. So I think if you put a scene on the gel plate paper, I think it looks really, really nice. And then of course, if you just have pattern paper or a picture, you know, you can totally just cut it out and glue it on, and that's just the easiest thing to do, you know. So there they all are. I really, really, really had fun today. I hadn't had this much fun in a long time, just experimenting and playing. Because I think it was the fact that it's not, it was relaxing things to do. You know, like making Yupo paper is fun. Doing jelly plates, fun. Just taking alcohol and rubbing it on and spritzing, fun. I mean, all those things to me are super duper fun. So, all right. Look for the pictures on the end. Hopefully they won't have this glare on them. And you'll be able to see better what they look like. So, all right, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Share it and subscribe if you've not already subscribed. And if you have, thank you so much. I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. But don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified for every time that I post a video. All right, y'all be good to one another, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.